competent at doing. So challenge that competence, improve that competence, expand on it, repeatedly put it to meaningful use. Be inspired by your competence in one area to develop new competence in other areas. Look for how you can get better, then get better at getting better. Life presents you with obstacles, unfairness, and disappointments, but also with resources and opportunities. To make the best of all that, respond with competence. Your competence feeds upon itself. Exercise competence and grow even more competent. Engage your abilities, your energy, your passion, your wisdom, and purpose, and live with competence and lift all of life higher. You know the difference that your competence can make? Well, you're holding on to it. Yeah, I did promise you a steel pulse. Here it comes. Good morning, Shaba. We gotta go, but you're gonna be singing along all the way till midday on Steel Poles. We appreciate you, but you appreciate those who love you. Help those who need you and forgive those who hurt you. Forget those who leave you. You'll be fine. Thanks for listening this morning. We appreciate your time. Thank you, Team Cosmo. You go on and have a really good day. Stay on the roller skate. Thanks for listening.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Good afternoon, Ghana. It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
We are 33 days away from the 2024 general elections. Hashtag Stop Galamsey now still on. Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The Midday News is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi. We're on Love 99.5 FM. We are live on myjoyonline.com, live in all 16 regions. I'm Menuveve FM in Aflao. We are on Jubilee Radio in Keta, Radio Max in Takrady. We're on X Spaces. We're on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrol Soul Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. This afternoon, Ghana faced with a firefighting crisis as it emerges that majority of fire appliances are either faulty or obsolete, with 5 regions including Oti, Upper East, Volta, Upper West and Greater Accra, including the fire service headquarters itself, hardest hit.
And you see, these appliances are very old. One station can go to about 3 or 4 fires in a day because the car is very old. Someone right now in Abubuya can even bypass our appliance because it is old.
You're wondering what this means for you? Please do stay for details. Member of Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee describes the recent daylight robbery of a jewelry store in Adabraka, where over 6 million cedis were stolen as an embarrassment, as he also criticizes the store owner for inadequate security measures.
Armed robbers are attracted to cash. They are motivated by money. So when you generate money in your business, you should know that is a magnet for robbery. If it is a magnet for robbery, what will you do to provide security for yourself?
We're live in the vicinity where the property's landlord revealed this is the second robbery at the property in just 3 months.
They will go and plan for another action again. And so, because they realized that there was no security and they came first time and they got what they want. The second time too, they realized that there was no security.
Also coming up, NDC insists it will not sign a peace pact despite its flagbearer committing to a peace accord by the Christian community on Sunday with its main contender, the NPP.
You cannot go and sign peace pact when the actors who are supposed to implement it are not committed to that. Because we did same in 2020 and they went ahead and killed 8 of our people.
But the Peace Council will not back down as it presses to get all political parties to sign the pact.
For this year's election, we are doing Peace Pact in 25 constituencies in addition to the National Peace Pact. But for now, it takes time to get commitments from everybody. And those are the things we are working on.
We'll get to touch base on the campaign trail with the NPP in the Ashanti region and the NDC in the OT region. We're also live in America as they decide. We have sports.
African Games gold medalist Ivan Skadman faces expulsion from school in the United States over unpaid tuition.
And much later, fridges containing bushmeat seized but boiling soup spared as the Forestry Commission goes after persons engaged in the trading of endangered species during the close season.
No boiling soup.
Okay.
No boiling soup. We do not pick any meat from boiling soup. Like I said, we pick what we see.
That's and more coming up in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. Please do stay on for details. Many thanks for staying with us. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, Ghana's firefighting ability is in serious crisis as a significant number of fire tenders are either dysfunctional or out of commission. The situation is even dire in the OT and Upper East regions where 100% of appliances there have serious problems, making it difficult for firefighters to use. Volta, Greater Accra, including the fire service headquarters itself, are facing a crisis situation and responding to fires. The details are containing a response from the Ghana National Fire Service to a right to information request submitted to the service. Joy News editor Fred Smith joins me in studio with details. Fred, let's talk about what we found with that request. What does the fire service say is its level of preparedness to respond to fires and other emergencies in Ghana?
Well, first, it's important to understand the scope of the fire service's responsibilities, which go beyond firefighting to include accident rescues, saving drowning victims, rescuing those trapped in collapsed building, flood rescue operations, and even dealing with bee attacks. Okay. And these, MFA, are life or death situations where time is of the essence. The service indicates in the response that it is well prepared to combat any undesired fires or respond to emergencies. However, the data on its firefighting equipment shows otherwise and exposes the struggles within the Ghana National Fire Service in discharging the duties that they have to discharge.
So what does the data obtained from the fire service reveal about the availability of fire engines?
Well, in a country of over 30.8 million people, there are only 248 fire engines. MFA, there are only 248 fire engines in Ghana. Alarmingly, 133 of the 248 are either faulty or out of commission, representing 53.6%. That's more than half of all fire appliances in Ghana are either faulty or not functioning. Now, common issues with these faulty engines include engine malfunction, brake faults, control board problems, and electrical faults. MFA.
Interesting. So which areas, Fred, are most affected?
Well, there are two regions with 100% appliance problems. That's the Upper East and OT regions. In the Volta region, 15 out of the 17 appliances there are down. The Upper West region has 14 fire tenders. 12 of them are not operational. In the Greater Accra, around 60% of fire engines are either faulty or out of use completely. Critical areas like Adenta, Abelinkbe, Treat Fair and Tema Township are left with only one operational truck, which may also be in poor condition. Even the national headquarters, fire service headquarters, is not spared. The fire service headquarters itself has 6 out of the 8 engines faulty. At Kolebu, there isn't a single operational truck.
At the Kolebu Teaching Hospital?
Yes, the Kolebu station.
Okay.
In Waja, the only fire appliance has broken down due to an engine fault. Our investigation on this revealed that this appliance was in such poor shape that it caught fire itself while it was on its way to respond to a fire outbreak in Kaswa a few months ago and never got to the scene. Emefa. In the Ashanti region, there are 25% of the 24 fire trucks either faulty or out of commission. Kumasi Metro, Kumasi Regional Headquarters, Menchia, and New Edubiase all have trucks with faulty engines.
Well, how is this then impacting the fire service's response capabilities, Fred?
Well, the fire service, as a result, is struggling to respond to emergencies expeditiously, leaving firefighters arriving either too late, with lives and property already destroyed before their arrival. And MFR, you can attest that in many fire incidents that we have reported, people complain about the time frame within which the fire service arrived. Compounding this problem, MFR, is the non-functioning fire hydrants in many parts of the country. And as a result, less than 5,000 firefighters are currently operational, MFR, despite having more than 15,000 trained firefighters.
So out of the 15,000 firefighters we've trained, only 5,000
less than that actually in operation.
Well, on the Pulse, the show that you produce with Elton Brobe as the presenter, he interacted with Alex Kinate, one of the spokesperson for the Ghana National Fire Service, just last month. Listen to what he told us.
The whole big area of East Legon through to Trazaku, through to Adjungano, 69, School Junction, Santo, East Legon Hills, we don't have a single fire station.
Not a single fire station.
Even in North Legon, there's no fire station. North Legon, all through to Domi, Kwabinya, Taifa,
Agboba, and the rest.
We don't have a single fire station there.
Why is it so?
So that's how bad the situation. Our plants at Obuasi is out of commission.
Obuasi?
Yes. And then our officers are ready to work despite the challenges. I think
so in the absence of that truck, what do we call the fire engine? Yes. In the absence of that, you can't move.
It's we being resourced is a national call. It's not for the fire service. After all, I won't go and park the fire tender in my house.
In certain places, in certain jurisdictions, when an emergency situation and the fire service is called, ambulance follows with the fire service, sometimes the police. In our case, sometimes getting any of them to come is even difficult.
As of now, the plans at Amasaman is out of commission.
It means that most of your plans are out of commission.
Government has promised us some appliances, and we are hoping that it will come on time.
So now, if there's an emergency situation all the way from Obuasi to, let's say, Amyankwanta in Kumasi, response time will not be prompt because you don't have any fire engine serving that enclave.
Yes, it might come from quite a distance. Because even from Nkoko through to Kumasi, I think the only appliance is at Konongo, and that one, it's not in the best of condition. Yes, and you see, these appliances are very old. You see, and one station can go to about 3 or 4 fires in a day. There was a fire at Taifa. The appliance at Anya had to move all the way from Anya market. It even turned into a fight. I was there personally, and we were attacked. We had to
because they didn't come on time.
Exactly. But they don't know the challenges because the car is very old. Someone riding an Abubuya can even bypass our appliance because it is old.
So that's Alex Kinati there interacting with my colleague Elton Brobe on the Pulse some time back. And details of our request, that's RTI request from the Ghana National Fire Service and the disturbing findings are available on myjoyonline.com. Hopefully the situation will be resolved. Now, a member of the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, Peter Lanchini Tobu, has described the weekend daylight robbery of a jewelry store at Adabraka here in the capital as an embarrassment. Over 6 million cedis were stolen when 4 heavily armed and masked men targeted a man in a red Toyota Corolla parked near the bustling market. Witnesses recount that the robbers approached the vehicle with guns drawn, firing multiple shots to disperse the crowd before swiftly entering the Toyota to seize large bags of cash. They then loaded the bags into their getaway car, continuing to fire shots to prevent interference, while the shop's landlord revealed to our correspondent Sweetie Abochi that this was the second robbery at the jewelry store in the last 3 months alone.
I was sitting outside here when I heard the gun. And my friend I was sitting down, he was looking at them. And he told me that the gunman is heading towards us. So we have to leave the place because they don't want us to see what is going on. There's no security here up to the time. It's almost 30 years he came here. So, secondly, when they came to rob you, you have to get sense. If you doesn't have sense at that time, you have to get sense to bring in a security.
So the entire jewelry shop was unguarded. The first and second time?
Yes, and that friend.
I'm here. How do you feel?
For me, I'm a man. But when this thing has happened, now they've gone. They will go and plan for another action again. And so, because they realized that there was no security and they came first time, and they got what they want. The second time too, they realized that there was no security.
Great. So she has a unique story. Tell me, then they see who experience. What's the bullets no or gunshots no or them? Cow story nature.
Right them. Na me best man ban. Enti me fa fun pa me say ade dem. To be a get na boy ba ko tam si kojo. Eje na e ba so knockout. Ti second one say there be what dey etu.
Into pay be hu ni e koso.
Bi na me hu some crofo e dwane e ba say. I'm so inside.
In fact, when I heard a gunshot, I just stood up from bed. So when I came out, I didn't came out with a boxer. So because of the gunshot made me realize that it was the first people because the way the gunshot sounded.
So that's the landlord there and some residents interacting with AM show host Sweetie Abochi this morning. Well, criminologist with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Jones Opokuwari, says the owner of the business must demand police protection because of the nature of the business he runs.
This is a high, business area, and the kind of businesses that operate there automatically will become a crime attractor and a generator. So if you have such areas, the more reason why we have to put in, more security systems. And I'm expecting that the police, with time or from now, will begin to patrol those areas more and have more, of their personnel stationed there because of the fact that this is a high, business area, and the tendency for such businesses to generate and attract criminals is very high.
But a member of the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, Peter Lanchini Tobu, says the development demonstrates a lack of reactiveness on the part of the police.
What happened in Adabraka in broad daylight is an embarrassment for our whole security architecture. It's an embarrassment and it's a failure for us to bring our citizens to a level that they will be security conscious. What we are doing now is reacting to the crime that has been committed. But if you look at the preventive aspect, some years ago, we established what we call the Emergency Command Center at the police headquarters. And it was purposely to connect services like this. The CCTV cameras at this stage could possibly protect the Emergency Command because the serious system, and this is the responsibility of the owner, that when something unforeseen happens there, within a second or two, it is activated at the command center, and police respond to the minimum, at least the maximum of 5 days response. If it had happened like that, I think that we would have been talking about smart policing. And it would have been very easy for the police to get the robbers arrested within 20 minutes after escaping from the scene.
That's a member of the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, Peter Lanchini Tobu. So what exactly is the latest on this particular situation? Any arrests? Elton Brobe has joined us in the studios. We have any update on this matter?
Well, the police has yet to update the statement they released on Saturday. And let me just go over the statement. The police are on a manhunt for a gang of armed robbers who attacked a jewelry shop at Adabraka in Accra on Saturday, November 2nd, where one person was injured. And the police says, we'd like to assure the public that we will surely get them and bring them to face justice. There's not been any update on this matter. What we do know, however, is that the footage of the traveling pace of the vehicle that was involved in the robbery
has been released to the public, all the way from the Sunny FM traffic lights to Shiashi to the Temamoto Way to East Legon, and finally the final picture we have terminates at Ashaman. It's unclear whether the police have this information and they are moving on to arrest these individuals, but that is all we have on this matter.
Thank you very much, Elton Brobe. And Elton will be on the pulse on the Joy News channel at 3 p.m. Definitely more on that. Let me take you now to the election headquarters.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants (CIMA) and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants (AICPA), together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, Shopbox Technologies, a convenient service, Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development, and Syntex Tanks. A year strong, a year tough.
And this afternoon, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has reaffirmed its stance against signing a peace pact with the Peace Council, criticizing the annual commitment as ineffective in preventing electoral violence, citing the tragic loss of 8 lives in the 2020 elections. Deputy Director of Elections and IT, Rashid Tanko Computer, emphasized that the party's position remains unchanged even after his flagbearer, John Dramani Mahama, endorsed the recent peace campaign launched at the forecourt of the State House. During his address, Mahama called insisted on justice.
Stand here today before you and before the Almighty God to reaffirm my commitment and that of the National Democratic Congress to uphold peace before, during and after the upcoming elections on December 7, 2024. The call for peace transcends any one party or its leader. It is about the very survival of Ghana's democracy and the sanctity of our electoral process. Each of us has a role to play in this. Our clergy, like all citizens, should be able to witness voting and counting peacefully without fear of violence. If someone errs or is disruptive during the election, they should be made to face justice. The government has a responsibility to hold accountable any criminals who masquerade during the elections as state security operatives. No weapons must be allowed in or around any polling stations, including at all collation centers.
Well, his comments sparked a rebuttal from the Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs Minister Stephen Asamoah Boateng, urging the NDC to reconsider the entrenched position.
Just now, my brother and friend, the leader of the NDC, took the opportunity to score some political points, but I believe this is not right place to do that. This is not a good gesture, especially when we all gathered here to seek mutual respect and compromises to preserve the peace. Sadly, his remarks portray that there's an entrenched position, which after this meeting, we will try and reach out to him. He has the belief that he alone knows the minds of each electorate.
However, the NDC insists that a commitment to justice must precede any symbolic peace pact. Well, the president of the Peace Council of Ghana, Reverend Dr. Ernest Edujemfi, says his outfit is working hard to get all the political parties to sign the pact. He made this call when an AU delegation donated some electrical equipment to the council.
On the peace pact, we've not come to the conclusion yet. And we want the public to know that for this year's election, we are doing peace pact in 25 constituencies in addition to the National Peace Pact. So some peace pacts will take place in some other constituencies that we think and we classify as some hotspots. And so we are working towards all of these things. I think in the coming days, a lot more information will put up in the public domain. But for now, it takes time to get commitments from everybody. And those are the things we are working on.
Well, we'll hit the campaign trail, and the NDC candidate John Dramani Mahama is touring the OT region. Maxwell Agbagba is with the team. Maxwell, I know you've been interacting with some constituents on their commitment to peace as well. What exactly have they been telling you?
Well, many of them tell me that they're excited by the NDC presidential candidate's pronouncement, expressing joy about his commitment to peace and the other details that he had to add to it. They say that having witnessed the devastating effects of conflict, they stress that peace cannot exist without justice. And it's important for the two to go hand in hand. We are urging all state institutions to fulfill their roles in upholding peace and fairness in the December elections.
We are very happy that our presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, has committed to the peace pact. That is the way to go, because we want Ghana safe after the elections when he is declared as the president of the Republic of Ghana. In our role, we will make sure that we will speak to our followers to make everything possible to go to the pool with peace. So at the end of the day, it is incumbent on us, the youth, to speak to them, because political vigilantism is all around the youth. So we'll make sure that the youth are being spoken to.
Let's speak to another gentleman here.
Thank you once
What's
again.
your name?
My name is Richard Boatin.
Okay, tell me, as a supporter of the NDC, what do you think is your role in ensuring a peaceful election?
My role, and as a coordinator and branch executive, we are talking to each and every community to keep calm. Voting is not about fight. So we are really doing that. As our president said, we are not going to fight. We are aiming to vote, and the voting is for peace. So we are talking to each and every community that they should keep calm and go and vote. They shouldn't fight. Whoever insults you, just leave. Go and vote and stay at the polling for the counting. So as my role, we are, and I'm not the only person, as branch executives, we are talking to every community to go and vote in peace.
That's my colleague Maxwell Agbagba there interacting with some constituents in the OT region as John Dramani Mahama begins that 2-day campaign tour of the OT region. Also, the NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is on a 15-day tour of the Ashanti region. My colleague Nana Boakye Dankwa Adom is with the team. We know that last night Dr. Bawumia interacted with the youth across the country from the Botiman Sports Complex. Well, let's listen to what exactly my colleague Nana Boakye Dankwa Adom has been reporting earlier.
Agenda 111, so Abagana, you see 111 hospitals. Ewa Ghana Gina. Yami Adum, Yabi Umunyana next year. Yabefa nurses, any health personnel, 70,000 nurses, ebe recruited into the Ghana Health Service. Yedi Beye. Narano, Nancy.
So that's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia there. Nana Boakye Dankwa Adom joins us. And Nana, I hear him talking about Agenda 111 amongst others. Tell us more.
Well, Emefa, the Vice President has been touting the achievements of the Akufo-Addo government, saying that very soon, and beginning this year, the government will be commissioning all some of the Agenda 111 projects. But mainly next year, most of these projects would be completed. That is where he indicated that about 70,000 nurses would be employed when these projects are completed, using through the Ghana Health Service. So it would also reduce unemployment rates. And also he has been speaking about the credit score system, which is expected to launch on the 7th of November, where he is saying that this is going to be a bigger milestone for the country in crediting people who need loans to purchase any form of good. And this is also going to be a bigger avenue for the business community.
So that's my colleague Nana Boakye Dankwa Adom giving us an update on that 15-day tour of the Ashanti region of the Vice President and NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Well, America is also set to decide from tomorrow. The race is on between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And of course, who will it be? Your election headquarters here in Ghana. We're all over it for you.
Donald Trump accepted his third Republican presidential nomination. Kamala Harris has now earned enough delegate votes to become the Democratic nominee.
This is a brand new presidential race.
As the U.S. goes to the polls to elect their next leader, who is winning, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump?
He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at the table.
Kamala Harris is a radical left Marxist, rated even worse than crazy Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas.
Your election headquarters, Joy News, brings you a special coverage of the U.S. elections on Wednesday, the 6th of November from 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. on TV, radio, Joy 99.7 FM, and online at myjoyonline.com. America decides on Joy News. In-depth coverage of America's big day.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM. And don't miss America Decides on the Joy News channel on Joy 99.7 FM, myjoyonline.com, and all our social media platforms. Let's do sports. Mubarak, what do we have?
Yes, so the worrying story is that Ghanaian high jumper Ivan Skadman, who won gold at this year's African Games, is now facing possible expulsion from the University of Central Missouri in the U.S. due to unpaid fees. The 24-year-old is no longer eligible for a scholarship and is on the verge of being dismissed for failing to pay the $15,000 required to complete his studies. Skadman has until December 15 of this year to settle the fee.
At this point, I'm sad. I'm stranded. This is not what I would have expected for myself. I wanted more for myself and more for my country. However, circumstances have brought me this way. So I'm pleading on everyone who is able to come to my aid to help me out, pay for this tuition. And I know once this tuition is paid for, I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to put in all the energy to bring joy back to every Ghanaian, as I did some few months ago.
Yeah, Ivan Skadban there appealing for support. That's a support.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. And chasing vehicles to make a living. That's what Akwesi Owusu has been doing for years. Though proud of what he does, his wish is to be off the street, own a shop and trading in less harsh weather condition. He's been speaking to Hannah Odame for today's edition of Streets of Despair.
Scorching sun, lots of walking and running about. And at the end of the day, his profits may even be taken away by a speeding driver.
About 3 people have taken my money away, and they drive V8. They say they will do mobile money, so I should run to catch up with them after they take the carpet. By the time I got to them, they are spared off. I was so sad that day.
Akwesi Owusu has been selling leather car carpets for close to 10 years. His official website is stationed in between the roads. And when the red on the traffic light comes on, his adrenaline to run gets boosted.
This job is very difficult. Sometimes I find it difficult to even get up. If you are not very strong, you cannot do it. So daily, I pray for God to be my help. What I really pray to be able to do is to own my own shop.
For Joy News, I am Hannah Odame.
And that's our Streets of Despair. And Choba operators in the central and greater Accra regions were taken by surprise after the bushmeat, which has been described as an endangered species, was seized during a joint operation by the Rapid Response Team of the Forestry Commission and the Wildlife Division. Public Relations Manager of the Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission, Nestina Edumia Ani, said the confiscated species, including porcupines, royal antelopes, were either on display in the market or on sale at the roadside by illegal poachers, while Choba owners had their fridges that contained such animals also seized at Adabraka, Agbogloshi, East Legon, all in Accra, and at Winneba and Asinfosu in the central region when the team arrived. Boiling soups were, however, spared as the group could not ascertain the type of meat in them. So those arrested have been arraigned before court after defying orders not to hunt such animals during the close season.
No boiling soup.
Okay.
No boiling soup. We do not take any meat from boiling soup. We pick what we see.
And no fridge as well?
The fridges, sometimes when we go, they are just right in the space when we see other confiscated, so they are there. You see them. So like I said, what we see is what we pick. When we go to the space where you are smoking the items, and most of the time their fridges are open. Most of the time, wherever we go to, the fridges are open because they are operating, they are selling the meat. So as time goes on, they go into the fridge and pick them out and smoke them for the next meal.
So if you see it that way, that one you confiscated, right?
What you have there at the space, what we see is what we pick.
With the fridges, because it's in the open and they directly trade in it, that one you can confiscate it.
Yes, because we have seen it. We cannot leave an endangered species with you.
So
that's Public Relations Manager of the Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission, Ernestina Adumiainida, interacting with my colleague Kenneth JC. That's how we end today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Living Word with Pastor Mensel Tabo. We're talking about faith to refuse. You want to stay? I am Emefa Apawu. Have a good afternoon.